Cheide.
For this 3-minute rules, we will be looking at issues concerning line of sight, and that is found on page 10 of the large 8th edition rulebook. Line of sight is important for various situations, including charging, certain spells, and shooting. A good simple rule of thumb is if there is unobstructed view, and if the target is within the forward arc of the model here, then we can say that without question that you have a direct line of sight. In some cases, however, we will not have such a clear unobstructed line of sight, so we actually need to get down and look from the eye's perspective of the figure itself to see if we can in fact literally see the target from the eyes of the figurine. Let's give you an example. Now, once we've gotten down on the actual eye level of the figurine, we need to remember that we need to have a clear view of a head, torso, arms, legs, basically the body of the target. Seeing wings, tails, weapons, banners alone are not sufficient for us to have line of sight. So let's take a look here. If we pan up a little bit and we look behind this building here, we can see that we see a wing from the griffin. That will not be sufficient to count for line of sight. Now, were we of course to remove this building, once again there we had the griffin in full view and we would have line of sight. If we move the building back, we can see here that we have partial view of the griffin and the prince, so we can say here that the griffin and prince are in fact in our line of sight. There may be other cases, for example when looking through a forest, that we will have partial line of sight. This will count as line of sight because we can in fact see the griffin from the eyes of the archer, but as we will discuss later when we discuss cover, the griffin and the prince will be given some protection because they are behind soft cover, in this case a forest. Nevertheless, we can still see them, they are in our line of sight. In this specific case with the archer, line of sight is required if he is going to fire his bow and shoot some arrows at the prince and the griffin. So line of sight in this case is very important. Well, there's a brief summary of the line of sight rules. Thank you for joining us here at Grey Army Gaming, where Grey can always play.